So we have all seen the ads promising to take you from 0 hours to the right seat of commercial airliner in less than a year. ATP Flight School is the biggest name out there, but their marketing makes the whole process look completely seamless. But is it actually worth it, or is it gonna milk your wallet? Look, I get it. With airline hiring constantly shifting, you probably want to get your ratings as fast as possible. The pressure to get to the airlines quickly is real, but rushing into massive loan without knowing how these schools actually operate can end up hurting your career before it even starts. So first of all, I didn't go to ATP for my flight training. And if you spend 5 minutes on aviation forums, you will see a lot of people absolutely trashing it. But I wanted to get a balanced perspective, so I talked to some of my close friends and recent graduates who went through it. Today, we are going to look at what's true, what's exaggerated, and the actual pros and cons they don't mention at the admission seminars. By the end of this video, you will know the real risk of a fast track schedule, how they handle Checkride failures, and a major hidden drawback of highly structured schools that leaves many graduates completely unprepared for the real aviation world. So accelerated flight programs rely on a very strict fixed syllabus designed to push you through multiple ratings back to back on a tight timeline. The main benefit is the speed. It minimizes the time you spend in training so you can theoretically start working as a flight instructor and building your hours much faster than at a traditional school. ATP packs a massive amount of training into a new months. Because the timeline is so tight, there's a very little room for delays. If you get held up by bad weather, aircraft maintenance, or if you just need a little extra time to master a difficult concept like instrument flying, it can be hard to keep up. The schedule moves forward and you are expected to keep pace. You are paying a premium for speed, but when things move that fast, the quality of instruction can sometimes take a back seat just to keep you on schedule. So have you toured an accelerated flight academy yet? Drop the location and the price quote they give you in the comment below. Because these large schools operate on fixed funding blocks, their policies regarding checkride failures are very different from standard flight school. At a local flight school, if you have a bad day and fail a checkride, it's usually a minor setback. You fly a couple hours with your instructor for review, pay the examiner fee, and retake the test. It costs you a few $100s. At a fast-track academy like ATP Flight School, a single failure can lead to severe financial consequences. One of my good friends went through this program, and when he failed his initial CFI check ride, which is a notorious difficult exam, it can take up to 7 to 8 hours to go through or exam. The school made him to pay for entire CFI course block all over again out of pocket just to get re-endorsed. But to keep it fair, it's not all bad. One pilot who recently graduated from ATP reached out and shared their experience with me. So they said, "It's not bad as everyone on the internet makes it out to be. It's true, the corporate side is a nightmare to deal with, but you rarely ever have to deal with them. Their support is usually very helpful. If they can help, if they can't, they'll tell you who can. Most importantly, it definitely gets you through all of the certifications quickly, and they give you all the resources necessary to do so." So while the day-to-day support is there and the program does exactly what it promises, get your ratings fast, and you still have to be aware of those rigid corporate policies if you hit a bump in the road. What is your biggest concern when it comes to taking FAA checkride? Let me know in the comment. Highly structured flight schools often insulate students from realities of a broader general aviation industry. This is a very common issue with the highly structured Part 141 schools. Now, technically ATP is a Part 61 school, but because it is run like a massive standardized academy, it suffers from this exact same problem. Because the school provides absolutely everything for you and is focused on getting you through the Checkride, you don't actually learn how to function as an independent pilot. The graduate I mentioned earlier put it perfectly. Some of the cons are because they provide every resource you need and are focused on getting you through your Checkride. They aren't really prepared for what is spit you out. So there is no exposure to the GA world as it really is with the rentals, insurance, etc. You kind of live in a bubble up until you graduate. So when you graduate from a program like this, you might have a stack of certificates, but you have never had to figure out how to rent a plane on your own, how to secure your own non-owned aircraft insurance, and how to navigate the aviation world outside of highly controlled corporate system. Do you prefer the idea of a structured fast track program, or do you think a local mom and pop school is better? Tell me why in the comment below. At the end of the day, accelerated flight programs like ATP can absolutely work if your goal is a speed and you strive highly structured environment, but you have to be prepared for rigid schedule, self-study, and the reality of living in an aviation bubble until you graduate. Next week, we're going to break down exactly how to vet a local flight school using the Pilot School Finder code tool, and so you can get the same commercial certificate without the massive upfront pressure. Becoming a commercial pilot is an amazing career choice, but don't let marketing brochures pressure you into quick decision. Take your time and look at the numbers and choose the path that makes the most sense for you how to learn. If this video helped clarify how these certified accelerated flight schools actually work, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next training guide. Safe flying and happy landings.